The move for Hugo Ekitike to Liverpool falls into that latter category, a blockbuster saga that sees the Reds smash their summer spending record once again and stake a bold claim on England's footballing future. It all began when Liverpool realised their front line, potent though it was on paper, still lacked a certain razor-sharp edge. Managers past and present had looked at Alexander Isak's goal-scoring exploits at Newcastle and wondered if he might become Jurgen Klopp's next superstar striker. But Newcastle's price tag was non-negotiable. Faced with a brick wall, Liverpool turned their gaze to Germany, where the 23-year-old French forward had been making waves with Eintracht Frankfurt. Almost overnight, Ekitike went from a rising talent to the centre of Europe's hottest transfer story. News broke that Liverpool had tabled an initial offer, only to see Frankfurt stall. The German club knew what they had: a young striker with blistering pace, a physique built for the Premier League and a habit of finding the net in crucial moments. When Liverpool returned with a second bid, Frankfurt again dug in. And when the Anfield hierarchy came back a third time with a package worth £79 million up front and another £5 million in performance-based adders, the tide finally turned. That figure, £84 million in total potential outlay, makes Ekitike Liverpool's second-largest signing ever, just behind last month's megadeal for Florian Wirtz. It also vaults the Reds to the top of the Premier League spending table, with summer outlays now nudging £300 million. To put it another way, Liverpool have spent more this window than Chelsea, Manchester City and Arsenal combined. It's a bold statement of intent from a club determined to wrest back the titles that have eluded them in recent seasons. But numbers alone don't tell the full story. Behind every £1 million bid is a human being with hopes, fears and ambitions. So who is Hugo Ekitike, and why was he worth breaking the bank for? Born in Reims, France, Ekitike showed promise from a young age. He honed his skills at the Stade de Reims Academy, graduating to the senior team as a teenager. His performances in League One caught the eye, but it was his move to Eintracht Frankfurt that truly accelerated his career. In Germany, he found the space to combine his natural flair with the discipline of a top-class football system. Last season alone, he scored 22 goals in 48 appearances across all competitions, helping the Eagles storm into the Champions League and dazzling fans with his direct runs and electric finishing. What made Ekitike so irresistible to Liverpool scouts wasn't just raw goal numbers. It was the way he carried himself on and off the pitch. Frankfurt's coach called his potential departure a bitter loss, and it's easy to see why. Ekitike possesses a rare blend of pace, physicality and technical skill. He can sprint behind defenders, bully centre-backs with his strength, and yet still carve out space in crowded penalty areas with clever movement. He presses relentlessly, works tirelessly for his teammates, and has a sharp footballing mind, always looking for the pass that will unlock a stubborn defence. When Liverpool won the battle to sign him, they moved swiftly to get him under the knife. Ekitike is expected to arrive in the UK on Tuesday for his medical, before putting pen to paper on a 6-year contract that will keep him at Anfield until 2031. In typical Liverpool fashion, a small contingent of club staff remained in England while the rest of the squad flew out on their pre-season tour of Asia. The plan is for Ekitike to join the group in Singapore or Japan within days, ensuring he begins his Reds career bonding with teammates, learning the Klopp philosophy in person, and building the understanding that fuels on-pitch success. That same deal structure, modest upfront cost with large adders tied to silverware and personal milestones, mirrors the premium transfer Liverpool struck for Florian Wirtz. In both cases, the club has protected itself against overpaying if things don't go to plan, while giving itself the chance to reward success if these young stars help deliver trophies. It's a financial model that aligns the player's ambition with the club's goals. Everyone wins when Liverpool lift Premier League, Champions League or domestic cups. Liverpool's spending spree of nearly £300 million across a handful of weeks has not gone unnoticed. For the first time this summer, the Reds topped the list of net spenders, eclipsing Chelsea by more than £75 million. It's a remarkable shift, considering Liverpool's reputation in recent years for surgical signings rather than splashy outlays. But times have changed. The club's record revenue haul of £613.8 million last season, fueled by Champions League qualification, commercial deals and global reach, has given them the firepower to compete with the absolute best. Even with that revenue, Liverpool remain mindful of the Premier League's profit and sustainability rules. Clubs are allowed to lose up to £105 million over a 3-year cycle. Thanks to relatively modest net spend in the previous 2 years, Liverpool have room to post losses of up to £158 million this summer and still stay within the PSR limits. That breathing room, confirmed by respected finance analyst Swiss Ramble, has given FSG and the club's sporting directors the confidence to greenlight headline-grabbing deals. Yet this summer's activity isn't just about outgoing cash. The Reds have also generated significant funds by selling academy graduate Jarell Quansah to Bayer Leverkusen for £35 million, a deal that counts entirely as profit under PSR rules. Backup goalkeeper Camin Kelleher departed for Brentford for £12.5 million, and further sales, particularly of players like Darwin Núñez, Harvey Elliott or Luis Diaz, could yet top £100 million before the transfer window slams shut. In that sense, the Ekitike deal is part of a broader balancing act. Invest in the first-team Arsenal while nurturing Liverpool's famed ability to produce talent for the market. The stage is now set for a fascinating pre-season tour. Liverpool will visit Asia, where millions of fans have long worshipped at the altar of Klopp's gegenpressing philosophy, and present their new arrivals to a starved audience. For Ekitike, this won't be just a chance to show off his skills, it will be a cultural baptism. He'll adapt to the intensity of Klopp's training, the fervor of the travelling fans, and the GLW, graft, luck, willingness, ethos that makes Liverpool's environment unlike any other. By the time they return to Europe, he should have forged the bonds necessary to hit the ground running when Premier League action kicks off. Klopp himself has been effusive in public comments, praising Ekitike's fearless mentality and eye-for-goal instincts. The manager knows that in a 38-game marathon against the richest clubs in Europe, moments of individual brilliance often decide title races. Ekitike's ability to conjure something out of nothing, a 30-yard screamer, a deft chip over a stranded keeper, an acrobatic volley, could be the very thing that tilts tight games in Liverpool's favour. For supporters, this signing provides a long-awaited glimpse of a brighter future. Last season ended with heartbreak, defensive lapses in big games, draws when wins were needed, and a persistent sense that Liverpool lacked that killer instinct in the final third. Ekitike represents a new injection of unpredictability. His direct runs will drag defenders out of shape, creating space for Mohamed Salah, Diogo Jota and Wirtz to exploit. His presence also allows tactical flexibility. Klopp can switch between 4-3-3 and 4-2-3-1, or even deploy a front two in matches where a stroke of genius is required. Off the field, the excitement is already palpable. Merch shops at Anfield have restocked oversized replica shirts bearing the name Ekitike, while global social media channels buzz with highlights of his most spectacular goals for Frankfurt. Sponsors and partners are lining up for photo ops, knowing that a fresh face like Ekitike, who is fluent in French, English and German, offers crossover appeal in multiple markets. There are, of course, challenges ahead. Adapting to the relentless pace of the Premier League, with its no-breaks schedule and ferocious physicality, will test any newcomer. The weight of an £84 million price tag can be a heavy burden, magnified by the spotlight on Merseyside. And Liverpool's fans, ever hungry for silverware, will demand instant impact. But Ekitike has already shown his mettle under pressure, netting Champions League goals, thriving in high-stakes Bundesliga derbies and recovering from errors with a smile. His move also shines a light on the broader evolution of European football. Clubs like Eintracht Frankfurt have built reputations as launchpads for talent, combining top-flight competition with a willingness to sell at the right moment. Meanwhile, traditional giants like Liverpool must navigate a complex web of financial regulations, global commercial deals and fan expectations. In this modern era, success depends as much on boardroom savvy as on the players running onto the grass. So as the final signatures are inked and the first medical scans completed, one question looms large. Can Hugo Ekitike match the hype that surrounds him? Only weeks of pre-season build-up, followed by 90-plus minutes under floodlights, will reveal the true answer. But for Liverpool, this deal represents the sort of bold gamble that has powered their greatest triumphs. It's a reminder that in football, fortune often favors the brave. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into Liverpool's record-breaking transfer for Hugo Ekitike, Make sure you hit that subscribe button right now and ring the notification bell. You'll get every pre-season update, exclusive analysis and wall-to-wall coverage of the new number 9 in red. Don't miss a single moment as Liverpool chase glory across England and Europe.